Welcome back, folks, to the show. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what a festival of football we have been treated to midweek. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday football. The Premier League absolutely spoiling us with its coverage. Let's get into this. We'll run down through the results first, and then we'll categorise down and see the main headlines falling out of this midweek fixtures. Newcastle 1, Norwich 1, Leeds 1, Palace nil, Southampton 2, Leicester 2, Watford 1, Chelsea 2, West Ham 1, Brighton 1, Wolves nil, Burnley nil, Aston Villa 1, Man City 2, Everton 1, Liverpool 4, Spurs 2, Brentford nil, and Man United rounding it out with a 3-2 victory over Arsenal. Let's start with the good. Leeds back to winning ways and definitely relieving the pressure on Bielsa, who was in serious trouble there. But a last gasp penalty from Rafinha brought home the 3 points for Leeds. Still trouble there at Leeds, still plenty to do. This one will feel like they got out of jail a little bit in terms of getting the 3 points. And of course, we'll talk about Palace in the bad, no doubt about it. Brighton with a last ditch wonder bicycle kick from Maupay to share the spoils. Absolutely brilliant goal. Brighton really one of those teams, like, unless you put them away, they'll always hang around. They'll always hang in there. You really got to put them to the sword if you want to get rid of them. They'll always find a way to do something. But again, I suppose you have to look at it as well. I mean, West Ham will be very disappointed. We'll talk about them in the bad. But for Brighton, again, although they got the points here and it will feel better in terms of going out of there with a point instead of nothing, it's still, I think, 9 games now without a win, and certainly concern for Potter. And hard to believe they're still like ninth in the table with 19 points and not a win in nine. So let's see what happens there at Brighton. Newcastle down to 10 men early on. Kieran Clark getting sent off for the drag back on the jersey on Pookie. Um, it was sent off, but they took the lead. They took the lead, and in the end, they held on for a draw, with Norwich coming back into the game. But again, you're looking at this. I mean, should Newcastle be drawn with Norwich at this stage? But Norwich showing a little bit of bite to themselves, still under Dean Smith. Huge point away from home at Newcastle. Obviously, the sending off was pivotal in terms of the shape of the game and stuff like that. But we shall see going forward. We are well into the Eddie Howe era now, so let's see what happens going forward. United coming from behind against the Gunners. Um, Starting to show a little bit of form, United now. Um, Certainly they're starting to cleanse themselves of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But a few interesting refereeing decisions during that game. Certainly you could argue that the Maguire drag back on Tommy should have been a penalty. The Fred one also some questions about that. But overall, some of the refereeing a little bit questionable. But United running out runners, Ronaldo with 2 goals. Um, Absolutely pops up in the sensational for them. This Arsenal will feel very disappointed in this. They had an opportunity to lay a claim to the top four, especially against a United team who, in recent times, haven't been very, very good. And we know after the game, obviously, Carrick has left the club, and we are certainly into the Ralph Ragnick era now. So let's see what that brings. Spurs with a good win over Brentford, despite Brentford having more possession. Kind of a Conte masterclass, isn't it, really, that he comes away with a clean sheet and a win, even though he surrenders the possession somewhat. But still work to do there for Brentford. But Spurs laying their claims for potentially a top four. So let's see how the Conte era stacks up against the Ralph Ragnick era. In terms of the bad, I looked at Palace. Certainly looking a bit shaky over the last few results. Vieira with work to do there, you know what I mean? He'll be disappointed in that result against Leeds, especially a Leeds team who haven't been performing whatsoever. So he would have thought that he would be going there to get, I suppose, at least a point, and probably thought he had a point sealed until Rafinha popped up with that penalty. Um, Saints at home surrendering the lead twice. The governor won't be happy, Ralph Hasenhüttl. Um, they should be doing a little bit more at this stage. But again, when you look at Southampton against Leicester, Leicester were buoyant coming off the back of a win that they badly needed. But both managers here, I think, won't be overly satisfied with the result between Southampton being at home and Rodgers with having some key opportunities. James Maddison again looked pretty good on the night, but just not enough to rob all 3 points. Um, West Ham, Moyes won't be happy. Look, nailed on for the 3 points, but upstep Maupay, we just spoke about him. Bicycle kick into the middle of the box. Absolutely great goal, runs off. VAR check on it for dangerous play, which is kind of weird. I don't know what they were doing there, but it was a clean bicycle kick, never endangered anyone, and was a great goal. Potter will be delighted. Moyes will be absolutely disappointed. It would have been a vital 3 points for him in terms of maintaining West Ham's position in the league, which now looks could be under threat with Spurs and United picking up big wins. Arsenal, a bit shaky, all right, but albeit poor refereeing. But again, another game that could be deciding the top four, and you would think with Arsenal that they'd have wrapped their heads around this at this stage. But just, up pops the man Ronaldo, you just can't hold him back. You can't keep him back from scoring. He just crops up in these big games and up he comes and scores. And Arsenal, of course, falling short in their claims for a top four position. Lots of work to do there for Arteta at the moment. In terms of the ugly, there's only one I put in the ugly tonight, and that was Everton. They look in serious trouble. Agent Rafa with no answer to Liverpool at all. I think at periods, certainly in that last, say, 10, 12, 15 minutes of the first half, I think Everton were buoyed by the Damari Gray goal and they got back into it and they looked like they were trying to drag us down into their type of game. Um, but it wasn't enough. I mean, they couldn't deal with the press. The speed of Mo Salah for the 2 goals, unbelievable. Also Jota, all these players, Robinson, unbelievable on the night. You know what I mean? So there's levels in this league at the moment. We keep on saying it. And Liverpool are a massive level above Everton at the moment, who are struggling to find goals, struggling to find form. A lot of their top players not performing even in the team. Again, the likes of Digne and Alan and Richarlison and players like that just go missing, and these are key players for them, especially at the time when they're missing Yerry Mina, Andre Gomez, Calvert Lewin, and players like that. They can't afford to lose these players. A thin enough squad as it is, but got absolutely put to the sword by Liverpool. And now a massive game coming up on the Monday Night Football against the Gunners. That will be an absolutely huge game for both managers, and Rafa could find himself in serious trouble because if that doesn't go right, something's going to have to give at Everton. And we know when these things give, it's always the manager. This has been the good, the bad, and the ugly. As always, head over to YouTube, Dynamo Podcast Network on the upper tier for all these shows. You'll also get audio versions of the show on Spotify. Hit us up, let us know your comments. How did you feel about the midweek fixtures? Are United back? Are Chelsea struggling slightly? Even though they got the win, missing Jorginho there and Kante midweek, who pulled the strings in midfield. Man City getting the job done against Gerrard, but just about. But what a goal by Bernardo Silva. Liverpool absolutely smashing Everton 4-1. An absolutely brilliant midweek set of fixtures. Let's roll on the weekend. As always, we will be back to you again real soon. Don't forget to check out today. We'll be dropping Beat the Bookie. We'll also have a preview for the Liverpool Wolves game, and we will chat to you again real soon.